Hey guys, it's Mitch. How's it going? We're back for more Blood Force. This is the final page commentary for issue 3. This is the big climactic Popo page, as is now tradition. So just before we get into it, if you enjoy the channel, if you feel like you might want to help out a little bit, go subscribe on my Patreon. Links are in the description. Gives you early access to everything I do, helps out the channel, helps to buy new comics. So yeah, this is the second issue in a row I've done this. Is this gonna focus up anytime soon? Doesn't seem like it. Oh well, I'm sure it'll figure it out. Maybe not. There we go. So yeah, last issue was a big old Dale Keown style, as in, I partially ripped off the cover for Pit number 1, close-up of Popo. And this one, I'm not ripping off anything directly anyway, but I feel like we've all seen this shot a million times before. This is the big confrontation shot between Popo and the Clerg, when they enter into the torture chamber to go and execute Popo, because, the order's been put through, so it's time to wipe him out. And, open the door, and they've got a little bit of a surprise, as Popo is armed to the teeth. Somehow, the Clerg's tradition of keeping their many weapons in the torture chamber has backfired on them. Who could have foreseen such an event happening? I don't know. Ooh. So, yeah, we're just kind of trying to do a giant badass shot of Popo with some ridiculous guns. And we've got some Rob Liefeld style sword handles here. Like, they kept swords there too. That was part of the plan, I guess. As well as, some rifle butts, a rifle slung over his shoulder. And I gave him a couple more swords. I think one of the swords I gave him was like a Crusader type sword. I think it's Knife who got the Witcher sword. I know that one of the characters, I think it's Knife. One of the characters gets one of the Witcher swords. Just one, not both. That's going a little overboard. And these guns here, I think I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time on. And this is like one of the first times I've really liked the guns, like how they turned out when I draw them. Like, they're massive and bulky, but they also look like, they could be physical objects for the most part. And I like all the random tech all over them. It's tough to come up with the lines sometimes, just trying to come up with something that to fill the space can be pretty difficult a lot of the time. I also like these biceps, how they turned out. I think this is around when I was starting to figure out that particular position. I feel like it's gotten a little bit better since here. But yeah, extra scopes all over the place because we're using Platt as a reference. And just like a plate going over parts of the tech, but not all of it, and then, revealing parts. That's another thing I think I picked up from Platt. And put some magazines on these that are way too skinny. Yeah, does get a massive targeting sight there, in the way of the scope on top of the gun, just to point out, and massive barrels. And yeah, the barrels are way too big for the magazines that I've decided to draw here. And not to mention those magazines kind of look like they're kind of tilting off to the side. So we just widen the magazines. And that all of a sudden looks a whole lot more interesting. Yeah, that arm looks pretty good too. Try to get extra lighting in there for these big shots. It's something that I don't always do automatically. It takes a bit of extra thought for me. But really like how it turned out in this one. A little bit of Silvestri tech, why not? Let's look at a different Platt book. Because, he's making different shit up in a different book, right? Oh, we don't need to use Liefeld as a reference, though. And another double wide magazine on this one, which, again, looks pretty good. I like the idea of these gigantic shells being just launched up into the barrels here. And, yeah, multiple, belt straps on the legs, pouches over the belt here, as well as, of course, ammo straps. And a Celtic, tartan pin, or what would it be? Like a a kilt pin, which has no real purpose whatsoever. Because, I mean, like that's, that's partially used to actually like keep your clothes up. And here is just like he found an extra thing and pinned it to his lapel. And this shot of the clerk here finding him, I'm not actually too happy with. I blacked in way too much. That's one of those things I think I went in on autopilot. So that part I'm not super stoked on, but it's okay because the rest of the drawing here is pretty fucking sick. Then we get to work on the background. This is the part that got put off for a while. This is one of those pages that took me like 3 weeks to finish because I knew this background shit was going to be coming up. And goddamn do I not want to draw it. At least the hamster wheel here that I'm working on at the moment, I have drawn several times, so I've got a decent idea of the kind of tech to fill it up with. So that's all right. Yeah, and I mean, don't have to go way overboard with the detail. Just enough so it doesn't look like, again, like we're slacking off, right? I like these kind of like cryogenic tube things. I've been putting these in this room, and I'll probably use them again in future. What else are we putting in here? Now it's just a matter of how can we fill space. So yeah, okay, some tubes leading away from like the cryogenic bubble tubes. I don't think I'll put the bubbles in yet, but I'm about to. Just some more tech on the side, yeah. And white in some lights and stuff. That does look pretty good. Get these like random, like metal cylinders laying on the ground here. Oh yeah, and finally remember to put Popo's coat in here. And remember to rag it up a little bit, so that's good. Didn't remember to put rips in Popo's pants on this one, which is a bit of a shame. Because that would have been pretty good. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, we're not exactly looking for consistency here. Put a grade in, but it doesn't 100%. The perspective in this shot doesn't really work. I think I've fudged it enough so that you can't really tell. Unless you're like, like looking for that kind of thing, then maybe. But because I didn't use any vanishing points in this, I'm completely just like making it up as I go. I mean, the real problem was that, like, Popo in relation to the clerk who discovers him doesn't work at all. So, yeah, it was all a matter of kind of stretching everything else. There's those bubbles in the tanks. I don't even know if those will make it on the actual finished page. I don't think they will. Yeah, it's just like stretching everything and obscuring everything in the back here so that it kind of looks like stuff, but if you look closer, it's like, I don't think that stuff actually makes any sense. And it's like, and then here, yeah, because I put the floor meeting the wall here a little too high, which I've done several times now. So I have to pull it down a little bit. And that does look a little better. Put these grates in. And more tubes, all sorts of tubes. Can't think of anything to put on the floor apart from tubes, apparently. Like friggin' like duct kind of tubes. And just like, yeah, more, I think that's another tube, yeah. More tubes, more grates. This is kind of the ultimate page here because, just a ton of grates ended up in the page, as well as Popo, as well as weird tech, as well as gigantic guns. I don't remember what texture this was that I was going for. I saw it in something, and I thought, man, I can use that, and I mean, it did. And it kind of looks all right, but I don't know what it's indicating. Like some kind of insulation, maybe? Could be. Like throw rugs? I'm not sure what that's supposed to indicate. Anyway, that's the page. See ya. No, just kidding. So, Yeah, the final shot here, I feel like I probably should have put a shadow underneath Popo here. But does that conflict with the cleric in the front? It might. Yeah, all these textures and everything, they feel like they're generally going in the right direction. But if you actually track them all down, they don't make a ton of sense. And that's okay, because the finished page here, I think, looks pretty good. This is a pretty good page. I should have signed this page. I didn't sign that page, though. Maybe I'll sign that page before I put it into the actual issue. Still got plenty of time. But anyway, so yeah, that is it for issue number 3. I almost said issue 26. No, this is page 26 of issue 3. So, yeah, I guess next time we'll do some covers and stuff. Pretty wild, though, to get, like, a full 3 issues done. Never, well, I was going to say I had never done that before. I kind of have. Kinda. Back when I was a teenager. But, that doesn't exactly count anymore. These are, like, full-on freaking comic pages I've done. I'm pretty proud of these. And we're getting up to just about halfway through issue 4 now, which is approaching an actual record. So once we finish that, that'll be something to celebrate, I guess. But anyway, that's going to do it for this one. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Wait, that's not how I end these. If you like this video, that's the one. Please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications so you know when the next one's coming out. Go over and subscribe on my Patreon. It gives you early access to everything I do, from the Blood Force stuff to the YouTube videos before they get uploaded to YouTube, as well as some Patreon exclusive content. You can also follow me on Instagram and DM me there for commissions, and you can join the Blood Force Discord server. But yeah, that's going to do it. I said this is the second time I said that. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.